Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires here on the Motor Racing Network, and we are glad you joined us talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here, and we are set to go. Oh, we're finally getting into it. Some good racing this past weekend.
Some great racing. I mean, Tulare, Devil's Bowl,
Yep.
a few snowouts.
Yeah, snowouts, exactly. So it is what it is, but it is getting better and better, and lots of really neat things happening. Let's get right to it. Oh, by the way, I want to let you know that Sam Hafertepe Jr., Erin just mentioned Devil's Bowl. He swept the Devil's Bowl this weekend for the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. He'll join us, and we're going to talk to Ricky Warner, crew chief for Tony Stewart Racing and Donnie Schatz. Boy, they're off to a start. Can't wait to talk to Ricky and see what his take on it is.
Unbelievable.
I don't think he'll give us any secrets, though, will he?
No, Ricky's not big on secrets.
No, he's not big on secrets at all. At least giving them out, that's for sure. He probably has a few.
Plenty of them.
He has a few tucked away, that's for sure. Let's get to it. Our classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. And, well, the hot topics from Tulare is Donnie Schatz won, as usual.
Yeah.
But David Gravel did get a win on Friday night, so kudos to the CJB Racing team.
It was nice to see things changed up a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. And the line Gravel was running, I was watching on Dirt Vision. Oh, my gosh, he'd go out of the screen in turn number 1, and then he'd go right through the screen down the back
Huge run down the backstretch.
Amazing stuff. So, really, when we look at the classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics, we're kind of spinning forward on this one because season openers all over the place this weekend. Yeah. Exactly. Attica, Friday night. Williams Grove Friday night, Port Royal on Friday night, and the reopening of the new Mansfield Motor Speedway in Mansfield, Ohio, which is an old paved track. So that's pretty exciting that that's opening up as a dirt track as well.
Yeah, it ran there a long time ago, the truck series. So it's neat that it's a dirt track again.
Really is. So a lot going on in the future. And how about this? The NCRA, the National Championship Racing Association. You know, there's so much good racing out there, and I know we focus so much on World of Outlaws, Pennsylvania, Ohio, All-Stars, ASCS National Tour, so much good racing. The NCRA is celebrating their 47th season, which in itself is pretty amazing. And they're doing it big time. 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas, $15,000 to win for 360s.
I think that's awesome. You know, that's a great series. I ran with them a bunch. But I love looking at this year's calendar.
Yeah.
There's so many big events now. There's more, you know, it's great for the racers and the crews and the teams. There's more bigger purses, but there's bigger shows, and I like that. Indeed.
So we'll follow along from Park City, Kansas as well throughout the weekend. Going to be big fun. And there you have it, the classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. You can find out more information at classicinkusa.com. We've got great hats, great shirts, hoodies, T-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of items. Whether you're looking for your race team or whether you're looking for another sporting team, maybe a kids sports team, maybe a corporate event, maybe a school, maybe church, wherever you need to go, you can check that out at classicinkusa.com. I know why drivers like Danny Dietrich, Brian Brown, and others, they choose Classic Ink. You should too. Let's step away. When we come back, we're going to talk to the guy that swept the Devil's Bowl, Sam Hafertepe Jr. He joins us next.
Find Wing Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center.
O'Reilly. If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew wear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink, at the track and on your back.
I'm Danny Holkraver, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Thank you, Danny. Welcome back. It is MRN Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires here on the Motor Racing Network, talking sprint car racing, and we love when we get a chance to talk to our drivers. He drives the Keith Dobbs number 15H. He is the reigning champ of the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, presented by MAV TV, and picked right up where he left off at the end of last year, picking up the win. Both wins this weekend at Devil's Bowl. Sam Hafertepe Jr. joins us on the line. Hello, Sam. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. Glad y'all going to have me back on.
We certainly are as well. Sam, when you win the championship, that's great, okay? But when you have the off season and you're down for a little while, how comforting is it for you to know that you can come right out of the box and sweep the season opener? How rewarding, how confident does that make you feel now as you go into title defense mode?
Well, in the off season, we did make a lot of additions to our team. We made our motor program quite a bit better. Our cars and everything, we made little nicer pieces there too, and equipment just got a little nicer. We made our program a little bit better all around, and we really did expect to come out of the gate really good and strong, and being that we boosted all of our equipment up like that, the pressure's on me to perform, and it's good to come out of the first night like that, and first two nights, I guess, and dominate like we did.
Sam, that was actually kind of be my question for you to start off. You mentioned the offseason and changing things. You guys won the championship last year, but the sport's always evolving. To stay on top, you got to continue to work on things. What were some areas, you mentioned it a little bit, that you really focused on? You said your engine package. Was it aerodynamics? Is it chassis? What were some of the areas you guys really focused on?
The main focal point was our engine program. The stuff we'd had last year was some stuff that was built back in 2011, and yeah, they raced good and they performed good, but there were some places like some of the bigger tracks that we struggled on, and just because we were down a little on power. So our main focal point was getting a little more power under the hood, and we went to Charlie Fisher to use his expertise to kind of get us up over that hump that we were at before. And as far as cars and equipment, we just before we didn't really have a lot of new stuff, so we kept the same chassis because we had a bunch of good cars that worked really well, and just bolted new equipment on them, and that was the main thing. That way we have no failures this year, and everything's fresh and ready to go.
Sam, I understand making this part better and this part better and making this part better and massaging that part, and that sounds a lot like what you did. But we all know it's a combination deal. Was there any concern that it's like, yeah, we got faster horsepower, but that's going to do this to the chassis or anything? Was there any concern? And obviously, I would think those are gone away when you improve areas to keep that comfort zone that you've had as well.
Well, there definitely is. There's a lot of things that, you got to think about when doing those kind of things. And, with the expertise that Charlie Fisher has and James Fisher over at Fisher Racing Engines, they made the transition really nice for me. The motor, obviously we picked up a lot of power over the winter time, but the motors that they've developed for us are, they don't spin the tires so bad. They stay in the tires and they accelerate at the same time. I know that sounds dumb, but it's one of those things where they just have a nice package there, and we got with Huggins Cams a little bit on kind of helping us out there too. So between all the people that helped us out on our motor package, we really got something that's that we believe is really good, and we'll know more about it the more and more we get to race it throughout the year.
Sam, looking forward to this season, we know you're going to try to defend the ASCS championship. What else do you have on your schedule? I know you like to throw in some 410 races here and there.
Yeah, we like to race 410 stuff as much as possible when we can. But my main focal point, is definitely the ASCS series. It's my bread and butter. It's what it's what it's what we we're eyeing for that second championship, going back to back, and right now we're a little limited on help, still kind of trying to find that guy to complete our program. So we really can't race as much as I want to, when we do have off weekends with ASCS. But once we do find that guy that fits in and meshes well with me, we will be able to go and race some of those various 410 races whenever we have the opportunity.
Sam, that's a great question. And I'm kind of part of a team with Motor Racing Network, but we fly in and fly out. Erin has obviously been part of a sprint car team. Finding that guy seems like it might be an easy task. Look at the resume, see what he's done, see what you need and everything. But the reality of sprint car racing, when you say finding that crew guy, you're almost having to look for a roommate, for a best friend, because you guys are with him. So how tough is it, and what all goes into finding that guy to work on your team? Because you become with that guy 24/7. It seems like.
Yeah, you definitely have to be able to get along. That's the first thing, and with being me and that one other guy on the road all the time, he has to be able to take on a lot of workload and be prepared to work really, really hard. And a lot of guys think that when you come out on the road and we're going racing that, oh, it's fun, we're gonna go race. And I always try to explain to people the amount of time we actually race is, marginal compared to the time we put in the shop and the time we travel down the road. The racing parts, maybe 4 hours out of a night on the weekend. So, it's really hard for a younger guy to leave home sometimes, and there's just a lot of things that guys they think they can do it, and then they get a couple months in and they get cold feet, and it's a tough thing to find a guy that's really formatted to do something like this. And like I say, we'll find somebody that fits the mold really well, and if we don't find the perfect guy, then we'll have to go through some teaching methods to get a guy that's eager and willing to go out there to just get him ready for the season.
Well, we wish you luck finding that guy. You're headed off to Randolph County Raceway for the Spring Fling is your next event. What are your thoughts on that track? Is it a track that you like? What are you thinking?
Well, I've actually never been there. I've seen some video footage of it. It looks like a place that definitely fits the mold of some tracks that I've done really well at in the past. So, to me it looks like a miniature Eldora. So, it's one of those places where we feel really comfortable at, and it seems like we'll pick it up pretty quick. And I'm just really anxious to get out there as fast as we were this weekend. I'm wanting to race as much as possible right now.
I am sure indeed. Well, Sam, congratulations on sweeping the weekend at Devil's Bowl. Best of fortune this week in Moberly, Missouri, and on throughout the season. I know we'll talk to you because I know you're going to win some more races, but thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Well, I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for having me.
That is Sam Hafertepe Jr., the reigning champ, and his next race is with the ASCS, that is Sunday night, Randolph County Raceway, as you mentioned, Erin, Moberly, Missouri, and it is racingboys.com is going to have the play-by-play on Sunday night. Erin, I want to kind of touch, before we go to the break and bring in Ricky Warner, the finding the guy question. I never really thought about it, but it's fascinating to me because it's not check in at 8 o'clock in the morning, you go home at 5 o'clock at night. That has got to be a major challenge. I mean, you did it a lot of times, even with your husband, with Ray, but that's got to be a major challenge to find that person to adopt to the team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just like Sam hit on, I mean, you're asking someone to basically spend their life on the road. So if they have a wife and kids or, family, it's challenging. But also, to find someone really knowledgeable about the sport and about the cars and the chassis is hard because it's a small industry. And then to find someone that fits with your personality, I mean, there's a lot that goes into finding the right crew chief or the right crew person. Yeah, I mean,
you're going out to eat or you're eating sandwiches going down the road. You're just,
oh yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's no flying back and forth like the NASCAR teams do.
I'll see you Thursday at the racetrack. Yeah, it's like,
you're on
a
the
lot
road.
of times you're probably sleeping in toter homes or sharing motel hotel rooms and everything else.
Showering and truck stops, all the good
Oh,
things.
man, now there you go. That sounds like a good time. Dial up Sam Hafertepe Jr. if you want all of that. He's looking for a good person. I don't know that we sold it or not.
Yeah,
we may have hurt poor Sam on that one.
Sorry, Sam.
That's right. Yeah, indeed. One thing about it, with Sam Hafertepe, you get trips to victory lane because that guy can wheel a race car. Hey, let's step away. When we come back, we're going to talk to a crew chief of a guy who can wheel a race car. Donnie Scott's crew chief, Ricky Warner, joins us next.
Hi, I'm Dale Blaney, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
O'Reilly.
If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Today, Toyota's featured NASCAR fan is Carrie, Queen of Cakes.
So, Carrie, why do they call you Queen of Cakes?
Well, whenever Toyota wins a NASCAR race, I make a life-size Camry cake.
Really?
Yeah, delicious and made in America, just like the dang car. And with all Toyota's wins last year, it was life-size Camry Cake City. Oh, even lost a kid at one point. Tried to drive one of the cakes. Had to eat his way out of the drivetrain. Bless his heart.
Let's go NASCAR fans.
Toyota, let's go places. To learn more, visit toyotaracing.com. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc. Toyota vehicles and components are built using U.S. and globally sourced parts.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
I'm Casey Kane. Now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Casey. Welcome back from a great driver to a great crew chief. Let's go right back to the hotline. He is the crew chief on that Articat sprint car that is winning, it seems like, all the races on the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Tour. Driver Donnie Schatz, Tony Stewart Racing, but joining us on the line now is Ricky Warner, the crew chief. Hello, Ricky. Welcome back to the show.
How you doing?
We are doing well. Ricky, if you could script the beginning of the season. I know there's two that got away, but how satisfied are you with the start of the World of Outlaw season with you and your wheelman there?
We're pretty happy with what's going on right now. I mean, we got a new sponsor, new colors.
Yeah.
And, the team's working good together. I got Steve Swenson with me and Brad Mariscotti. They're doing a good job, and Don's doing a good job of driving. And, this is probably the best start we've had in a long time.
Ricky, we were just talking to Sam Hafertepe Jr., and we were talking about how the sport's ever evolving. You know, they were the champions last year at ASCS, and what did they do in the offseason to stay on top of it? What were some of the things you guys focused on this offseason? I mean, you're already on the top of your game. What do you do to keep evolving?
You kind of just lay everything out at the end of the year, look at the stuff you had trouble with, and try to get that straightened out. Try to not to, always try to. You don't really have to reinvent the wheel every week. So, we took out the stuff that, we were struggling with and just kind of stuck to the basics, and it's been a lot better start for us.
Ricky, I want to follow up, and you obviously are busy and didn't hear it, but Sam Hafertepe, we talked about, he's looking for a crew guy, and you mentioned your guys. How tough, set aside the mechanical end of it, who's good with tires, who's good with shocks, who's good with motors, who's good with all of this, but how tough is it to find that right chemistry of that guy you're going to travel up and down the road with? How difficult is that across the board to find that right person?
I think it's huge. I mean, Steve Swenson, we've been together for a long time. Most guys know him as Scuba.
Yep.
He's probably the best guy I've ever worked with on the road. Drives the truck, does the hotel stuff. But you have to live with the person every day, every week, all the time. So it's, you got to be able to get along, and you got to be able to like them, and you just got to give each other space, because when you're with somebody that long, every little thing they do, end up getting on your nerves after a while. It's just like being married to somebody. So it's tough, and it's tough to find good guys.
Ricky, speaking of team and getting along with people. You know, you and Donnie are like the Jimmy and Chad of sprint car racing. How do you maintain that relationship, that working relationship, and you know, what are some of the dynamics that go on between you and Donnie?
Ours is pretty open. I mean, our team's open. You know, if we got a problem, we get it worked out. I mean, some, you know, people might see that and think we fight a lot or whatever, but we're real open and honest, and we don't beat around the bush. And I think it's better to be that way because nothing festers, and it ain't like in 3 weeks, you know, you're so mad at each other you can't talk, or it isn't like that. We just get it out, get the problem hashed out, and it's over. Whether it's with the guys or between me and him or whatever, you know, we just get it worked out and go on. But we all get along good. We all give, you know, stay on each other or joke around with each other, whatever we got to do to make it all work, you know. So there's times you got to kind of keep everybody uplifted a little bit and don't let them get down or, you know, pointing fingers at each other, stuff like that. We don't do it. You're just responsible for what you do, and we back each other on whatever stuff's going on, and you just got to be that way.
It is, and it's worked so good for you guys across the board. Ricky, this is kind of a Sprint Car 101 question, okay? We look at racing, we look at the racetracks. You guys go to the big half mile at Volusia, and you win the race. You go to the little quarter-mile bull ring at Tulare on Saturday night, and you win the race. I'm not asking for specifics because you're not going to share specifics with us anyhow, but in general terms, how different are the cars between a little quarter-mile bull ring and a big half-mile like Volusia where you've had success? How much different are the cars set up the way they are between those two type of surfaces and tracks?
The first night at Tulare, we weren't that good, but the second night we got it going. So it just tires and your package you run, you know, your bars and your shocks and what your guy likes to drive. You know, it's just learning. You know, you just develop a better playbook after time, and you just start adding to it. And the stuff that isn't so good, you might replace it with something better, and you just keep filling in the bad stuff with the good stuff. And then you just, pretty soon you come up with this playbook for all these racetracks. I mean, my book that's in the trailer is probably 7 inches thick. So there's not much we haven't seen, but there's a lot of stuff that we're not good at, and we're getting better at it. So as long as we can bring all that up and keep the rest of the stuff running at the level it is, that's all you can do.
You've mentioned a few times now stuff that you're not good at. For us, that seems crazy because you're out winning every night. So give us a little hint as to what areas you think you guys need to work on.
We set the bar pretty high for ourselves. Just for me, just make sure you hit the setup for what the track is. I mean, stuff changes. Guys work on the track while you're going through your night. That the promoters seem to like that, but the guys that work on the cars hate it. So, you know, you got all your slick stuff out. Your tire guys got all your tires ready for slick. You know, they go out and till it all up, water it all up. Now you got to change bars, get your other tires out. You know, it's just like you're chasing it all night. So the only thing you can do is stay positive and make the best decisions you can. So that, if anything, it's just getting better at quicker on getting caught up to the track changes.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Final question for you, Ricky. One of the things that you guys are looking at down the road is a change in manufacturer as far as the engine goes. I know you're not there yet, and I know when we talked to Donnie preseason, you guys really were still working on a timeline. Is there any plan in place? What can you share? And I know a lot of it you might not be able to share with us, but the new Ford engine, where's the process going on that, and just where are we at on that this point?
I think what they're doing is they recognize, you know, that the level we're racing at's pretty high, and we put a lot of pressure on each other. And they just want to make sure they have something really competitive when we do start running it. So, the biggest thing, like the management above us and the Ford guys and the people involved in the motor program, they just want to make sure they got all their ducks in a row and they give us a good product and be real competitive when we come out. So there's going to be testing and just growing pains on that whole thing, but I think a lot of people just, don't want to jump the gun and just get something out there. They want to make sure it's competitive, and they make a good effort when they do it.
I can imagine. Ricky, as always, a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks for your time. Best of fortune this week at Stockton and on throughout the season. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Yes, indeed. That is Ricky Warner. Two things real quick. Can you imagine the pressure of putting a new engine in Scott's car?
Yeah.
You just have to win. That's it. And if you don't win, you're to blame.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the challenge. He talked about that 7-inch thick playbook. I wonder what you could get for eBay for that.
Yeah. That would be priceless.
That would be priceless, no doubt about it, but I'm sure that is under lock and key.
Yeah.
So, hey, we appreciate Ricky joining us, and I know that we'll be talking to him and Shots and everyone along the way because, man, I'll tell you what, they are so good right now. Let's step away. When we come back, more MRN Wing Nation.
Watch MRN's Wing Nation with Steve Post and Ashley Stremme on MAV TV, Saturdays at 9:30 and 12:30 Eastern.
O'Reilly.
If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum's newest feature exhibit is our Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell, June 9th through October 15th, at the only museum in the world solely dedicated to sprint car racing, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Stop in and check out 8 of Sammy's original race cars and see his trophies, uniforms, and more as you learn about his outstanding career. The Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell is only this season at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast, and they're coming to a track near you in 2017. No matter where you're at, the American Sprint Car Series is near you. From the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, presented by the MAV TV Motorsports Network, to any of the 7 ASCS regional tours, there's over 150 nights of racing to choose from in 2017. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Listen live on RacingBoys.com and get the full rundown at ASCSRacing.com.
I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Welcome back. Thank you, Kerry. We appreciate it. And time to look at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum calendar. We take a look at birthdays. And today, Billy Schumann birthday I had a great time out in Phoenix. Went to the Arizona Open Wheel Museum. Oh, my gosh.
Love
and the
pictures.
Schumann name is epic. And on Saturday's Wing Nation on MAV TV, we got a little video package from out there. So you'll need to check that out. Thursday, Damian Gardner and someone named Erin Evernham.
My birthday.
Yes, indeed. Thursday, was it 22, 23 years old?
Something like that.
Something like that, exactly. Larry Rice, Russ Clendenin on Friday. Saturday, Roy Bryant and Albert Buddy Taylor. But yesterday, Monday, would have been the birthday of Bob Trossel, team owner, legendary builder, 1993 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Championships at Knoxville with Doug Wolfgang, Shane Carson, Tim Green, Randy Smith, 302 410 wins. He was a key player in the Australia to United States trade that became that.
Yep.
I mean, Bob Trossel. I mean, you want to talk about Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Boy, that's the definition
He was
of
like
it.
an icon around Knoxville, and like you said, the whole Australia movement. And he was always a friendly face. He was always willing to talk, helpful, just great person.
Indeed, he was. His story and many others are at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And as a matter of fact, his story, Life's Tough on the Circuit, is his autobiography, and it's available at sprintcarstuff.com, sprintcarstuff.com. That is where it's at for the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Joining us later this week on our Wing Nation Weekend podcast presented by Hefner Racing Products, we're going to talk Pennsylvania and snow removal with Greg Hodnett. And Saturday, MRN Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Lucas Wolf going to join Ashley Stremme and I. But Erin, they're plowing snow in Pennsylvania, so that's looking
And
good.
it's warm, too.
And it's
melting,
warm, exactly. Looks like Ohio might get up and running. World of Outlaws, ASCS, NCRA. This is going to be
This is it. We're getting here.
Now we're getting here, exactly. We're getting here, and it's so funny. We go into the new season, but yeah, when we look at guys like Hefertepe and Donnie Schatz, it's like more of the same, too.
Yeah,
so
exact same thing.
much as we change, things stay the same. The good drivers are going to be at the front.
Cream always rises,
Cream
right?
always rises to the top, that's for sure. And we appreciate everyone joining us. You can also follow along all week long on our Facebook page at Wing Nation, facebook.com/Wing Nation. and on our Twitter at Winged Nation as well. We appreciate Sam Hafertepe Jr. for joining us after his pair of wins at the Devil's Bowl, and Ricky Warner for joining us as well from Donnie Schatz Racing, the Arctic Cat Colors. Really fascinating to talk to both those guys, both guys that have spent a lot of time in victory lane as well. So really, really good to talk to them. Really, really good to talk to you, and we appreciate you tuning us in. Thanks again for joining us. For Erin Evernham, I'm Steve Post. Thanks for your time here on
You've been listening to Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength. You can also find Winged Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.